Under the African Sun by Llewellyn Powys. The sun was exactly overhead, beating down upon the parched African landscape. I was riding with a friend over the plain of Loldoreto, which lies under the Eburu Mountains. 100 yards away, two zebras stood playing together. The stallion would whinny at the mare and trot around her. They were evidently lovers. With their thick necks and striped flanks, they looked like typical production of Africa, obstinate and fantastic. "Look at those two zebras!" I exclaimed. My friend said to me, "The stripes disturb the vision. I bet you a rupee you can't send a bullet into one of them." I got off my pony and raising my rifle, took a steady aim. A moment later, and the mare was down and kicking about in the dust and dry grass. At the sound of the report, the stallion had stopped short in its gambols and galloped away. But it did not go far. It soon stood still and turned to look at us, and as I remounted and we rode away, I saw it throttling slowly back to its mate, who was now lying quiet, still on her side. "You made pretty good practice," said my friend. "Yes, it was not a bad shooting," I answered. We continued our way together, but for some reason or other, I felt oversensitive that day, and was troubled by what I had done. It seemed to me that it was quite unpardonable to have taken the life of that zebra so carelessly, for no reason at all. Far up in the zenith the equatorial sun blazed down upon us. I knew that in the sight of that heartless Gorgon's eye of Africa, it was no hellish thing that I had done. I knew that he was far too used to African ways and the cruelty of tooth and claw. The next day I rode to the Nagum Valley and spent many hours dosing 2,000 sheep with bluestone and mustard. The incident of the day before had completely gone out of my mind, and even if I had remembered it, the occasion hardly offered much opportunity for sentiment over a shot zebra. With so many sheep waiting for their medicine in the heat and dust, I dosed them until I was too tired to speak, pushing the narrow neck of the Worcester sauce bottle into the slide of their mouths, and holding it there, while they swallowed the proper quantity of food. When at last I had finished, I mounted my pony and began riding home. For no special reason, I elected to return by the way of the Loldoreto Plain. I fancied perhaps that it was shorter. I was tired and my pony was tired. Oppressed by the late heat of the African afternoon, in a half-crazed condition, I noticed subconsciously that there were a number of vultures circling about the sky before me. What is disturbing them? I wondered. At that moment, my mind received a strange jolt and I was wide awake. The vultures were circling over the zebra I had shot the day before, but they had not so much as plucked out her eyes because the stallion was still there at her side, trotting to and fro, and furiously driving away any bird that settled on the ground near his dead mate. And as I sat on my pony watching the scene, I knew that this untamed fantastical animal, restlessly running to and fro in the vivid sunshine of the tropical noon, had thrown out a challenge against the material universe, more desperate, more beautiful, and more convincing than any I had ever heard from pulpit or platform.